First of all, Professor, thank you so much for being on our show.
My pleasure to be here.
The National Development and the Reform Commission of China predict that China's economic output in 2025 is expected to reach 140 trillion yuan. And OECD also revised its forecast for China's economic growth to 5%. So, Professor, what factors do you think are underpinning the confidence of the global stakeholders for China's economy?
I always advise my colleague analysts do not try to second guess the Chinese government forecast because they have the means to achieve it via investment, via boosting consumption, just because of this positive, strong role of the government. So, China is going through a transition of its structure of the economy. In a few years' time, we will not talk about real estate anymore. China is now almost head-to-head with the United States on the production of semiconductor, AI, and other activity that will greatly improve the efficiency and therefore the GDP of the country. So this is, in the next 5 years, we will see this almost seismic shift of the Chinese economy moving from, let's say, old economy, real estate and other, into AI and technology development.
In your view, what are the endogenous drivers for the sustained and steady China's economy?
Well, in my view, it's very simple. China is a company where there is an important role of the government. This is a great advantage because if the Chinese government has a GDP forecast, given its strong input into the economy, then the forecast is almost always met.
Well, Professor, I know you participate in several international forums hosted by China. For example, the China Development Forum and also World Forum for Asians. So, Professor, based on your observations, what role do you think China is playing in the regional and the global economic cooperation?
Very strong. The world is not decoupling. We are not looking at the deglobalization. We are looking instead at a regionalization of economic relationship. And this is because countries have a tendency to do more business with countries that are nearby. It's a geographic issue. So China is taking a leading role in the development of Asia. China is the biggest by far economy. And of course, all the countries are kind of grandfathered by this strong presence of China, which is, however, a win-win presence. People fear that China will dominate, but it's not. There is a common benefit to be shared. I personally took the railway from Kunming to Laos in Vientiane, in Luang Prabang, and the development of Chinese railway system in Laos has completely changed the opportunity for the Lao economy. So this is not just a white paper that says we will develop. These are real infrastructure, real pieces of iron laid down between Kunming and Vientiane that really have brought prosperity to the people of Laos.
Well, Professor, we can see that consumptions continue to be the main engines for the China's economic growth, and with some emerging forms of consumption, for example, digital consumption, green consumptions, smart consumptions, and tourism consumptions continuously expanding. So, Professor, what characteristics of Chinese market do you think this can reflect?
Consumption is a very tricky thing. People consume not only when they have money, but also when they think that the future will be bright. So it's a combination of a analysis of the current situation, how much they earn, but also an analysis of the future. So any positive news, any signal that the Chinese government will say about, for example, what I mentioned, the transition into high quality development with innovation, etc., could boost confidence to the consumers, which then would spend in advance of future earnings. The other very, very important aspect that could stimulate consumption is a extension of the welfare in China. For example, better, cheaper education, cheaper healthcare, And that would unlock about 20% of Chinese savings into consumption.
Okay, Professor, let's talk about a very important topic, China's five-year plan. And as China's 14th five-year plan is about to be concluded, how would you evaluate the achievement and the progress of China's technological ecosystem and also modern industrial development?
You know, we have the six dragons in Hangzhou, DeepSeek, Deep Robotics, and many others. We have, as I mentioned, China now producing semiconductor almost, not quite, almost the same qualities as NVIDIA. To be clear, I think China is on the verge over the next few years of a major tech revolution in all areas, not just the one I mentioned, but even life science, medicine, diagnosis, and everything, because I know that this is where the investment has been made and maybe has not surfaced yet, but I do hope and I do know that we are almost close to this major kind of revolution in Chinese development across many of these areas, not just the one that people talk about, but many others that maybe people don't focus too much on.
Okay, Professor, my last question for you. As China's 14th five-year plan draws close, China has already begun planning its 15th five-year plan. And actually, in the recommendations for the 15th five-year plan, high quality development and the common prosperities, green transformations are all the keywords. So, Professor, what development highlights or trends do you anticipate happening in China in the next 5 years?
What I just said, this major revolution and breakthrough in all these areas. Because I tell you, once we have a change in, let's say, technology, this is not just going to be a hardware change, it's going to be also what I call it a software change. I'll give you an example. The development of the high-speed network is not just getting people faster from one place to another, it's not just the hardware. It has changed the way people in China think, the way the people in China live, the way the people in China look for opportunities in other cities without having to spend 100 hours on a K train to go back home. Now they take a Gautier, in a few hours they can go back home. So that increases the flexibility, the workforce mobility. And really, this workforce mobility is another element of this quality development that, again, I would emphasize a lot in addition to the other more, let's say, more visible technology advancement. So look at the way the society changes. That would be the true revolution in the 15th five-year plan.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your sharing.
Thank you.